Hello, everybody. Welcome to Calm as a Witch.
Yay!
And I am Carmel.
I'm Mark.
And please bear with us. I am a little poorly still.
You managed to be sick for another while.
See how long this lasts.
This is episode 6, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is season 1, episode 6, The Wedding from Hell.
Oh, sorry. So in the last episode, I spoke about possibly using AI to generate a bit of a what-if script for the episode around what if Piper, as a result of this witchy spell, what if Piper attracted the men that Phoebe was after, Phoebe attracted the men that Piper was after. We've now generated that prompt, and me and Carmel had a brief look at it. Does look pretty good, but I want more. So what we're going to do is, for a bonus episode, is I'm going to make it generate actual dialogue, and then as a bonus episode, we'll do a quick run through and see what this what if scenario looks like.
I'll be the narrator and you can be the voices.
Yes.
Can you do good girly voices?
No.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So keep an eye out for that episode. It will be its own bonus episode.
Okay. So we start the episode with a scene of white flowers and a woman smiling at them. And we find out the woman's name is Alison. And a gentleman comes up to her with a white rose and says, "Hello, Alison Spencer." And she's like, "It's Mrs. Alison Michael Spencer."
I don't get why she says that, because it's not that yet. It will be, but it's not yet.
He called her Spencer. That's his surname, not hers.
Okay.
And she's saying, "No, I'm still keeping my last name, which is Michael."
But she called herself Mrs. She's not Mrs. yet.
But he called her Alison Spencer. That's the whole point, babe.
So they're both wrong.
Yes.
There are no winners in this situation.
No. So he hands her a white rose and they're on about that they're getting married, and Alison thinks something bad's going to happen. Elliot suggests eloping and Alison says, "Yeah, your mum's really going to love that." And then she says, "Speak of the devil."
Can I just say, when the mum appears, and I did say this while we were watching it, she's dressed like Dr. Evil.
Like a grey power suit. Elliot's mum is on about how they need to get their marriage certificate sorted, the marriage license, and they're on about doing it tomorrow. And she says, "No, go and get it done today. This is important."
The mum says, "How about now?"
How about now? It sounds like Elliot's mum's trying to take control of the situation.
Yeah, monster-in-law.
And then I think it's Alison says, "Who's that?" And they look and it's a blonde woman in this like dark brown leopard print jacket.
Yeah,
With just brown skirt.
she's standing a little way away from them.
Yeah. Elliot's mum says, "Oh, it's just someone that I used to know."
She looks really pissed off to see her.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh no." And she goes up to the woman and we find out the woman's called Jade.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "What are you doing here, Jade?" And she's like, "Grace, we have a pact." So Grace is Elliot's mother.
She says, "Yeah, you don't look like you've aged."
Grace says, "You don't look like you've aged for 20 years. And Jade says, "That's what you could have had. You could have had eternal youth instead of money and power." And she said, "Why are you here now?" And she goes, "Well, we had a deal. I'm come to collect on the deal."
So her wish was for $1 million billion $1,000,000,000.
Money and power.
Yeah, and influence.
The deal is basically Elliot. She says, "What am I supposed to tell people?" She says, "Tell everyone that Elliot has a change of our heart." Then she raises a hand and Elliot drops.
It looks like he has like a heart attack or something, or...
He just collapses.
Yeah.
And Alison screams.
Oh, obviously her husband's just fell down.
Fiance, they're not married yet. We've already had that discussion.
Well, she called herself Mrs. Sorry for making that mistake.
So the next scene, we see Prue banging on a bathroom door. Piper's inside, and Prue's like, have you nearly finished?" And she's like, "No." And she goes, "Are you positive?" And she's like, "I hope not." And in Piper's hand is a pregnancy test. And she's like, "Well, I've got an important meeting. I can't be late. I need to impress people." And she's like, "Well, use the bathroom downstairs. All my stuff is down there." And she goes to say, "Well, why are you in this bathroom?" But she's like, "Oh, never mind." And Prue just walks off. Then Phoebe comes knocking on the door and Piper has like a little bit of a like, "I can't get a minute's peace." Puts the pregnancy test in a pocket, but puts the box in the bin. And Piper says, "What?" And Phoebe says, "Is there any hot water?" And Piper says, "At certain times in your life, a cold shower is a good thing." And Phoebe responds, "Not 3 days in a row, it's not."
I know that feeling of fighting over the hot water And then there's always someone who forgets to turn the hot water on.
We don't have that anymore because we've got a shower.
Problem now, thank God. But yeah.
And so Phoebe's in the bathroom brushing her teeth. And while she's brushing her teeth, she's having a knock around the bathroom. So she must get bored of brushing her teeth. And she sees the pregnancy box in the bin. She picks it up and she has a vision of a demon being born. So this baby demon is being born.
Piper is pregante.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Woman can get pregnant.
And then we go to the intro.
Fucking love the intro.
So after all the music and the song and the seeing the characters on the screen, we get a shot of Pier 39 go through Chinatown, and it basically goes through San Francisco until we reach the manor. In the manor, we go to the kitchen where Piper is cooking. Prue's getting coffee, the phone rings, Piper answers the phone, and you only hear Piper go, oh, okay then, and then puts the phone down. And then she says to Prue, Chef Moore's booked off to France and is left Quake in the lurch, which means I'm the one that has to deal with everything because the contract's with Quake.
Piper has a really rough time in that job, doesn't she? She's either like somebody's fucked off somewhere, so she has to wait in Quake, or in this case, the chef has just decided to fuck off her bros, so now she has to cater an entire wedding.
Yeah.
She does not have a good time. I hope she's in a good union.
I don't think she is, just accepts it, doesn't she? So
She's a good soldier. She soldiers on.
Piper is bitching about the situation she's in, and she says, oh, maybe Phoebe can help. And Phoebe comes down and is like, oh, I already know. And she's like, how do you know? Oh, and then
She doesn't get a chance to answer.
yeah. And then she's like, oh, how can I help? And she's like, pick up supplies, offer moral support when I panic, freeze things, just be there.
So there's a lot of wordplay there, isn't it? Obviously, Phoebe thinks that everyone knows Piper's pregnant.
Yeah.
And they're talking about getting supplies. That's going to be stuff like anti-sickness tablets and
Mapping.
nappies. Oh, more pregnancy tests, maybe.
Milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she says, I'll pay you $10 an hour. Obviously, back then, that would have been quite a high price.
I think that's quite a high price now for America.
Prue says, take it. And that's when Phoebe says, oh, was this all about a wedding?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, what else is it going to be about? And Phoebe says nothing. And Piper says, well, I'll go to the Spencer estate and you go get the supplies. And she's like, oh, well, shouldn't we have a conversation about, Jeremy? And she's like, don't mention that warlock's name near me. There is nothing in me that wants anything to do with that warlock.
Oh, okay.
And she walks away.
Yeah. So,
And then Phoebe goes to pick up hors d'oeuvre. And Piper, through the wall, goes, don't touch those.
so they keep talking about the Spencer estate, and it reminds me of the mansion from Resident Evil, because that's called the Spencer estate. So every time they're talking about going over to the Spencer estate, I'm like, don't do it. You're going to die. You're going to get eaten.
Piper goes to the Spencer estate and she buzzes the intercom and she tells the security guard she's Peg Holloway to see the Spencer wedding. And he says, no, we've got a Chef Moore. And she was like, well, there's a change of plan. And he says, well, I can't let you in. And she was like, well, I've got ice sculptures melting in the back. She goes, well,
Such as melting on a wedding cake.
yeah, I've got to get in there. And he says, someone will be out to you soon. As she's waiting, a priest comes to the car.
Yeah, kind of crazily, doesn't he? He like dives on the car pretty much. Or like
Yeah.
dives in the window.
To the window, yeah, and he's like, I need to get on the compound. And she's like, what?
Sounds very cultish.
And he's like, I need to get in there. And then the gates open and two security men come out, grab hold of him, and Pac's like, easy on the upholstery. And the priest shouts, beware of a cate. Pac's like, what the fuck? So we then move to Bucklands. Prue is talking to Hannah.
Yeah, it's just a bitch.
Hannah makes a comment about Prue's biological clock ticking.
What a bitch.
And Rex walks in and says, your sister's here. And Prue's like, which one? And he says, well, the sister that when she saw your office said, damn, should have gone to college. And she goes, that will be Phoebe. Prue's like, oh, do you want them to book this into the auction? He says, oh, no, that's no longer available. And they're on about a fertility statue.
Mm.
We then go to Phoebe. She was in Prue's office and she was chilled in Prue's chair and she's on the phone and she's like, oh, gotta go. And Prue's like, what are you doing here? I thought you was helping Piper. And Phoebe goes on to tell Prue about the premonition. And Prue automatically assumes that it's Phoebe that's pregnant. Prue's like, oh, so this is why you came back from New York. And she's like, whoa, I'm not the only person that's had sex,
Yeah.
I may be the irresponsible one, but there is another sister. And Prue's like, well, go on then. Phoebe says, let's go back to Piper and Jeremy. I saw a demon child be born, and it's Piper that's pregnant. So we then go to the Spencer estate. Grace and Alison are having an argument. Grace is telling Alison that she needs to stay away. She needs to stop college, can't be here. And Alison is asking who Jade is.
Yeah, quite rightly. She's had a fiance stolen by this random BIH.
Yeah.
Just appears.
And Grace is saying that she's a friend of the family. Alison says, I don't believe that because Elliot would have mentioned her.
Yeah, but the thing is, she's a friend of the family. By the way, she's taking your fiance. We were just borrowing him from her. Now it's time to give it back. Like, motherfucker, I don't care who she is. She ain't no friend of mine.
Then she's like, tell Elliot to tell me himself if he doesn't want to be with me. And Grace says, Elliot doesn't love you. He's going to marry Jade tomorrow, end of.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I don't mean to be horrible to the rich and the famous, and I don't, but things change so quickly there that nobody questions anything. It's just a scandal.
What do you mean?
Well, you see all the time, like, you see quite a lot how...
you've got the arranged marriages and stuff.
No, how quick people, like, famous people and rich people go through boyfriends and wives and stuff, wives, husbands and stuff. And so it's just known as a scandal in the rich. But obviously, Alison is on the inside, so she's like, what the hell's going on? And she has a right to know. 1 minute, her fiance is completely in love with her, can't wait to get married, wants to elope. The next, he's completely not himself, he collapses and is marrying Jade instead. It makes no sense.
Yeah. And I think in part that's probably because Alison doesn't seem to give up. She can tell that something's wrong. It's not a case of it turns out her fiance was just partless all along. I think the way she talks throughout this episode, it's like she knows
something's not right.
Something's forcing him.
Yeah.
I don't think she suspects it's like a supernatural thing yet, but she definitely knows it's something to do with this woman.
And it's out of his control.
Yeah, like she got dirt on the family or something, yeah.
So we then go to the Spencer's kitchen where Piper's telling the sous chef to simmer, not boil. And then Phoebe comes in with the bags. Piper asks if Phoebe managed to get everything. Phoebe said most of what was on the list. And then this snooty man comes in and says, Spencer and Dimone.
Dimone? Is that the woman's
surname?
Oh my God, Dimone. I've just clicked on Dimone. Yeah. Oh my God, that is so cute.
Did you not hear him?
No, that's like saying, there's this like really evil, like satanic character. His name is Devlin Santos. Satanos.
I can't see you. It's very dark.
Can't see me. I'm John Cena.
Okay. Anyways, the snotty guy says, Spencer and Dimone, we'll see you now.
And the friends Lucifer. Oh my God.
And Piper says, I thought it was Alison, like Michael, Spencer and Michael, and Alison Michael. And he says they don't like kept waiting. And Piper and Phoebe look at each other and Phoebe goes, okay then. So they're going to the like place where Jade's trying on the wedding dress. It's like
a bedroom or something.
No, I think it's a downstairs room. It's going to be like a living room, like a dining room, living room.
A drawing.
A drawing room. A posh room.
Got a room, just a drawing.
The snoot guy says this is Piper Halliwell and completely ignores that Phoebe's there. So Phoebe goes, and her sister chopped liver. I love some Phoebe. She's so funny.
I never understood that expression though. Why chopped liver?
Because nobody likes it.
Oh.
Piper says to Jade, I've never designed anywhere. It's beautiful. It's a Shiro, isn't it? And Jade's like, is it?
So what's the significance of that bit? Is it that she...
It's a designer dress and she doesn't know what it is. It's like a snooty woman going, I don't really care.
Right, okay.
And then they're like, is everything okay? And Piper says something along the lines of, lobster's cooking, the hors d'oeuvres are baked, Chef Moore's in France. And they're like, what? Chef Moore's in France? And she's like, my wedding's ruined. So bitch is bothered about a chef that she's never met, but she's not bothered about the design of a wedding dress that would have cost thousands and thousands of pounds.
Yeah. The mum seems really pissed off that the chef ain't available as well.
Yeah, but the mum would have been there when they booked it. Jade wasn't.
Yeah. But what's strange about that is she doesn't want the wedding to go ahead, so why is she so bothered that it's going not great?
Because it's still a wedding that she was planning for Elliot and Alison. It's still money she paid out.
Yeah.
Piper's like, oh no, it's not ruined, I promise you. Your children and grandchildren will speak about this for many years to come. And Phoebe says, yeah, we don't need to talk about children right now. And says, listen, you don't know me. Hell, I don't know me. And Piper's the only one that laughs because the rest are stuck up. And she says, but I do know my sister. Piper is the best chef that I know. Her cooking is absolutely amazing. And you should count yourself lucky that Chef Moore did a vanishing act. And Jay says, if anything goes wrong, I'll have your head. And Phoebe, if looks could kill, that bride would be dead. She puts hands on her hips and gives her the filthiest look. And Jade's like, kidding.
What a bitch.
Yeah, stuck up little bitch. And then Piper says, well, there's only just one more thing about the bachelorette and the bachelor party. I just need to know what deli the bachelor party needs. And it was like, oh, any that you want. Grace says, oh, no, we can go and ask him. And she was like, yeah, let's go together. And Phoebe was like, well, isn't it bad luck to see the bride before the wedding?
Yeah.
But they just give her a snooty look again. Snooty people.
Snooty as fuck.
We then go to the seamstress, who accidentally sticks a pin in Jade's leg.
And she doesn't react.
She doesn't react. It's like she does not notice that she's just been stabbed with a pin in her leg.
The seamstress is like, oh shit.
And I think she's like,
Expecting to get shot out or something, wouldn't she? I think.
But I think she's more freaked out by the end of it, the fact that she didn't notice.
Yeah.
So
she looks down and says something like, is something wrong?
Yeah.
And the seamstress is like, no. Just pulls the pin out.
So the next scene, we see this guy standing in like a grass bit, and some security guys shout Derek, the head of security, I'm guessing. And he runs over to them and they say Father Trask has got away, and all the security are on high alert, and he radios through saying Father Trask has gone, you've got to find him.
Yeah, so he's out and about somewhere.
So then we see Father Trask in the furniture van, isn't it? It's where the furniture is for the wedding.
We're bringing all the like outdoor chairs and stuff.
Yeah. So he's in that van. He takes off his priest clothes top thing.
His gowl. Is it a gowl? Is it called a gowl? I think it is.
And his collar. And he puts on a removal jacket.
So he's undercover reverend.
And he's got this dagger with him that he puts in his belt band.
It's a fancy looking dagger, isn't it? It's not just a knife. It's not just a average shank.
It's a dagger, like an old-fashioned dagger with a handle that goes out like a sword. It's pointy, a small pointy sword.
Was that something you'd like sacrifice something with?
Demons, maybe. Virgins.
Demons.
We then go to inside the Spencer estate where Alison is sneaking into the room to see Elliot. And Jade and his mother, I think Grace, walks in and they're like, what are you doing here? Then an alarm goes off. Piper says, hey, that's the priest. And then you see Alison being dragged down the stairs by one of the minions, the minion that keeps hanging around with Jade.
Sorry, when you say minions, I just think of a literal minion. Like, where the fuck is Gru? They look like I'm a demon, and the minion's just like, Banan.
So this is all quite chaotic. You see Alison being dragged down the stairs by a minion. Elliot's running to the balcony saying, don't hurt Alison. The bride's pulling Elliot away. Then we see Father Trask going up the stairs. You see Jade there. And he says, I banish you back to the underworld, Akate. And then you see the minion pop up behind him.
She's like, no bitch.
And like, no bitch, no. And then just Jade snap his neck. She does, doesn't she? Jade snaps his neck.
Yeah.
And tells the minion to get rid of the body. And he's thrown out the window. So, bye-bye, priest.
He didn't put up much of a fight, really, did he? Thinking about it.
No.
Like, what was his plan? Who sent him as well? Because in movies and stuff, they usually get sent by the Vatican.
Well, in this, you've only got 40 minutes to try and explain some things.
Yeah, but it's like he's gone there by himself with a dagger. Like...
That's fit for purpose, but he's not.
Yeah, some like holy dagger. He goes in and gets his neck snapped like Kit Kat by a demon.
By Jade Demon. The next scene, we see Alison with Piper and Phoebe. Alison's in absolute tears. And Piper's like, oh, you're Alice. And she's like, yeah. And Phoebe's like, well, why, if you love him, why haven't you? And then Alice cuts her off and says, I've got to go, and runs off. Jade is being interviewed by Andy and Morris, saying, look, why do we have to go over this again? I've already told you. He came running to me. I screamed and ducked, and he fell out the window.
Literally, it's like the most Russian politician excuse you can come up with.
And she's like, I've got a wedding to get ready for. Can I go now? And Morris says, welcome to the lifestyle of the rich and shameless. Andy looks at the body of Father Trask and then looks at the window and says to Morris, do you really think you can jump out of that window?
So was Andy the one that was skeptical about the jumpers in the dream?
Andy's the one that's always on the side of supernatural.
Well, not even supernatural, but even just questioning, like...
Yeah, he questions everything. He's like, that's not right.
And what's his partner called again? Morris. Right.
Yeah.
He seems like he's just willing to just, like, glance at something and go, yeah, that was a...
No, he doesn't. He does think about it, and he doesn't ever turn around to... He's never turned around to Andy and said, you're wrong, I'm not doing that. He says, well, we've got a hunch, let's go for it.
What's cool about this, though, is Andy isn't a crazy guy, although he's been open to, like, witches and magic and demons and shit like that in previous episodes. In this, yeah, a priest has died and he's a bit further away from the window, so he hasn't jumped, but he doesn't go like, oh, maybe, like...
But yeah, they look at him like, it's the way that he's landed. Yeah, he's not jumped out that window.
No, and that's a reasonable thing that a real cop would do. They'd go, that's, unless...
Well, they'll see jumpers all the time, wouldn't they? They'll see like suicides and murders all the time, so they should be able to distinguish between the two. If they can't, they're bad policemen.
Yeah, he literally can like jump really far.
Supernatural.
If you're gonna do things, like don't do things by halves.
Exactly, that's my saying. We then go back inside the Spencer estate where Grace is talking to the minion, and we find out the minion's name is Kristen.
Sorry, I just expect the demons talking and all you can hear is like, Babaya, my nerd, here, banana. What the fuck?
You're fucking crazy. So yeah, we found out the minion is called Kristen.
So, oh my god, so it's Dr. Evil with a bunch of minions.
Where's the cat with no foot?
It's the cat. It's the one they've got in the house.
Anyway, so Grace tells Kristen, murdering the priest was not a part of our deal. And Kristen says, well, it is what it is. And they have a bit of an argument, and Kristen says, may I just remind you, we are on the second floor. So she's threatening Grace.
Yeah, like I could throw you out the window too.
Yeah. Prue's in her office. Rex comes in and says, oh, you want to see me? And Prue says, what do you want me to do with this male fertility statue? You said the female one's no longer available. And he says, oh, you can auction it. The bride only wants the female piece. It's a special present, actually. It's for the Spencer wedding. And she's like, oh, and Prue says, oh, Piper's catering that. And Rex asks a load of questions and then says, oh, what about you? Are you... And she goes, well, I'm not going. I don't like weddings. And he goes, oh no, how close are you to your sisters?
Weird.
Very weird question to ask. And Prue's like, yeah, we're close. And then Rex goes off and he goes into a room, his office where Hannah's waiting. And he tells Hannah, yeah, you're right, Prue's not attending the wedding. And Hannah says, oh, so that means that we can. He says, no, it's too risky. We might be seen. He says, stop pouting, Hannah. How about we go to a football match where we can watch football players being injured?
What is this? What is the deal with these two?
You don't know.
Something coming up, isn't there?
I don't know.
Well, the vibe I get is that there's a overarching storyline that they're setting up with these two.
Maybe. You'll see. We'll see. So we then see Andy walk into Prue's office and she's taking off a sticker, and Andy says, oh, do you want me to come back when you're alone? And she's like, oh, I'm just taking the sticker off this and Andy goes, artifact, because the sticker was pasted on the artifact's penis. Oh, so she was taking the sticker off the penis.
Yeah.
And Prue says, yeah, I should really know that word, shouldn't I?
What, penis?
Artifact.
Oh.
She should know the word penis as well, to be fair. She has had Andes.
Oh.
Then Prue says to Andy, oh, where's your...
Penis.
And Andy goes, artifact. And Prue says, yes, artifact. Where's your artifact? And he gives... He gives Prue the dagger.
Okay.
It's an actual dagger. It's not a penis. It's a dagger.
It's
still a pokey thing.
Yeah, it's from the crime scene.
And she says that it's Italian. Prue reads out the dagger out in Latin. Andy says, my Latin's a bit rusty. And he says, we shall not. And Prue says, I shall not. I shall not rest until the demon is vanquished. She asks where he got it from. He says, oh, it's from the crime scene from the Spencer estate. And she says, oh, Prue and Phoebe. And he goes, they're absolutely fine. I saw them. They're fine. And she Googles. I don't think Google was the thing there, so she probably asked Jeeves. And a picture of a woman demon holding a demon baby appears, which says, this can't be a coincidence. He says, what? And goes to look at the laptop. Prue turns the laptop so he can't see it and says, oh, I was just mumbling to myself, can I keep hold of this? And he says, yeah, I've checked it out so you can do some research on it. And she thanks him and leaves. She leaves Andy alone with the laptop that she knows that he's going to look at, but she didn't lock the laptop.
Yeah.
And she didn't shut down what was on the screen either. So Andy goes round and looks at the laptop and finds the picture of the woman demon holding the demon baby. That's a very silly thing to do. So back at the manor, Piper finds napkins and the contract that says Alison and Elliot says that she's not going mental. She knew that it wasn't supposed to be Jade and that Elliot's marrying. It's supposed to be Alison, and says that we need to sort this out. We need to figure out what's going on and get them back together. And Phoebe tells Piper that they've got more things to worry about and says, I can't keep this in any longer. Your name's not Piper. Your name is Akate, and you're going to give birth to a demon child, and I have to kill you.
She's very nonchalant about it. She's like, oh, shit, but I guess it's happening.
But Piper's like, what are you on about? And Phoebe says, it's all right, though. We have time because I need this dagger. It needs to be this dagger, so once I find the dagger, I'm going to kill you. And then Prue comes in with the dagger. And she goes, what a coincidence. It's like it's meant to be. And Piper says, I'm not pregnant. And then scolds Phoebe for looking through the trash, saying you're supposed to throw it out, not go through it. And then Prue asks Phoebe if she sees Piper giving birth. And she goes, yeah, I saw her legs. And she's like, but you didn't see her face. And she was like, no. And she was like, well, it's not Piper. It's the bride, Jade, who is Akate. Akate comes to Earth every 200 years to find a victim, to have a baby that looks human on the outside, but is pure evil on the inside.
Yeah, be 100% demon on the inside.
Yeah. And she says, but before we ruin the wedding, we've got to make sure we're right. So the next scene, we see Jade opening presents. Minion Kristen passes her the one from Brooklyn and says this is a very special present from, you know who. They said they can't attend the wedding, but they're thinking of you. And it's the fertility statue, the female fertility statue. And then you see Prue, Phoebe and Piper outside. And Prue says, oh, that's the one from Brooklyn. There's a knock on the door inside, and they open the door and it's a pizza delivery guy.
Oh my god, Piper gets so upset thinking that because they haven't touched
because Piper says they haven't eaten the hors d'oeuvres. How rude, I spent hours on those.
And then a pizza man turns up.
And she's like, oh, I feel better.
Mad. No, she goes mad at first. She's like, oh, they haven't eaten my hors d'oeuvres, but they've ordered pizza.
Yeah. And then the pizza guy ends up being a stripper.
He starts stripping and Piper's like, oh, thank God.
And they all seem to be enjoying it. The Jade and her minions and even the sisters seem to be enjoying the show. So the pizza guy takes his clothes off. I think he's got a leopard skin
like a
thong.
Yeah.
And he takes his hair out and he's got long black hair. So he's kind of like a Tarzan stripper or something. When Kristen says, oh, he looks good enough to eat. And Jay says, good idea. I'm the bride. I should go first. And then they claw him and kill him and possibly eat him.
Yeah.
Poor stripper.
Poor pizza man.
Poor stripper. So
yeah, so these demons beat people.
Yeah. They feed off people.
Eat strippers.
We then go back to the manor. It's morning, and the sisters are talking about how to stop Jade and to bring Alison and Elliot back together. Phoebe says that they need to learn the power of 3, and Prue makes a plan, tells Piper and Phoebe to get Elliot. Prue's going to get Alison. They says, has everybody got everything they need? And Phoebe takes the dagger off the table and is laughing when she does it. And Prue says, yeah, I'll take that. And then Prue says, shall we shampoo and save the wedding? And this is like, did she just say shower? And they went, hot water. And then they all scramble for the bathroom. We then go to the police station.
Yes.
And Andy asks if he thinks that the small little bride could have thrown the father out of the window. And Morris says, not a chance.
She's 120 pounds and dainty.
And then the next scene, Alison, so we go backwards and forwards here. So we've got Alison at the manor. Prue shows Alison the napkins and she's like, where did you get them? Then we go to the Spencer estate where Phoebe and Piper are dressed in like a white tuxedo, women kind of style clothing, suit things. And Piper's saying, don't put that directly in sunlight, it needs to go into shade. And Phoebe...
Little dirbs that can't be in direct sunlight.
And Phoebe reminds them that they're to stop the wedding, not to worry about food. And she's like, yeah, but I can't help it. And then they run off. And then we go back to the manor and Alison is explaining the situation to Prue, how they were in love, they were planning on getting married, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jade turns up and now she can't see Elliot. They won't let her see Elliot. Prue tells Alison that her and her sisters have special gifts that will be able to help her get Elliot back.
She doesn't directly tell them what the gift is, though, does she?
No, she says we've got special gifts.
She says you should crash the wedding, which just makes it sound like she's saying just go.
Yeah, she's like, this isn't a fairy tale. Stuff like that doesn't happen in real life. And she goes, well, me and my sister have special gifts. We can help you. So the next scene is Elliot and Grace in Elliot's bedroom, and they're both dressed for the wedding. Grace touches Elliot's face. Elliot is completely out of it, like he's on drugs and looks really sad. The next scene is Piper and Phoebe in the hallway, and they go and talk to Grace. But Minion Kristen stops them and gets in front of the door, says you can't see him. Then he's like, well, we need to talk to Grace or Elliot because something's really wrong about the food or something. And then Grace comes out and says, what's the problem? And they say, oh, we need to talk to you in private. And then they tell her that there's a big issue. Elliot isn't supposed to marry Jay. She's supposed to marry Alison. And Grace is like, yes, I know, but there's nothing we can do. Phoebe says, we have a plan. We can help. So Grace tells them to meet him in the cellar, the wine cellar, and then loudly says, sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah, to cover them all.
Yeah. So they head down to the wine cellar, and when they're down the stairs, 2 minion bridesmaids come in. Piper's trying to freeze them, but they're not freezing. And Phoebe says, look, you're freezing the fly. You need to be closer to them to freeze them. So I'm wondering, because she can freeze entire restaurants and stuff when she's scared. I'm wondering if the bigger the power, she can't freeze them. She has to be closer if they've got bigger powers.
Either that, or because she's already said when she's scared or nervous, she
panics and freeze those, yeah.
So is this a sign maybe she's getting braver?
Maybe, but she did look terrified.
No, yeah.
And then
seeing demons and stuff, they've seen demons before. So maybe it's not as scary to her now, so therefore her powers can't be used as much. I don't know.
Phoebe says we need to get closer, and Piper says, sod that, run. The next scene is at the police station. Someone brings Morris and Andy security tapes. So you know they're going to go through security tapes. So back at the Spencer estate, Prue and Alison are waiting outside, and Alison asks where Piper and Phoebe are. So Prue calls Piper, and Piper tells them they're in the wine cellar. They've got 2 demonic minions after them. We then go to Minion Kristen giving Jade a present, saying this is just something new.
So I thought that was something old. No, something borrowed.
No.
Okay. Well, she gives her a book.
Or it might be something old.
And it's For Faust, which I believe is a book about somebody doing a deal with the devil.
Okay.
She said she read it last time she was there.
Yeah. Then Jade says, what about my something blue? And Kristen nods at Grace. And Grace looks really sad looking out at the window. And Jade says, yeah, there's nothing bluer than a mother on their son's wedding day. We're then back at the police station and they're like, oh, we can't tell what they're saying. And Andy says, it says something killing a priest wasn't part of our deal. And Morris says, damn, you're good. And they walk off. Then we're back at the Spencer estate. Jade's walking down the aisle. Then we're at the wine cellar where Piper freezes the 2 demon minions. And then Prue bursts in and sends them flying. Then Alison and the sisters run down the aisle and stop the wedding. And Jade says, you little witch. And Piper goes, hey, like, that's really rude.
That's how it was. You can't use it.
Like, don't criticise her with witch. There's nothing wrong with witch. And then Jade casts a spell to conjure a storm, and then she drags Elliot away. The sisters run after them, and all 4 demons. So you've now got the 3 minion bridesmaids, so the 2 in the wine cellar and Kristen, and Bride Jade all turn into demons. I think Jade's straddling Elliot when they burst in.
Yeah, she's in a demon form and shit.
Yeah, but she's still got a wedding dress on, so they haven't got very far. And Elliot's still fully dressed. Don't know why she's straddling them then. The demons like line up in a line of 4, and then they're like, oh, Prue the dagger. Prue looks in her purse and she's like, it's gone. The dagger's not here. And then they're like, oh, Elliot. And Elliot picks up the dagger. And the sisters say to Prue, do something. So Prue uses her powers and puts them in the dagger.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I thought that he was going to stab.
Yeah, I thought you have to stab them to kill them with the dagger, but no, apparently the dagger sucks them into hell.
It looked like a Harry Potter spell. It looked like he was holding a wand and the demons just transported into his dagger.
And as soon as all of the 4 demons are in the dagger, Elliot snaps out with the spell and thanks the sisters. The next scene, you see Elliot and Alison reunite. The sisters saying, oh, that's really nice. I hope one day we'll have that. And Piper says, oh no, what am I going to say? My husband comes home from work and I say, honey, I froze the kids. Prue says, well, at least it's not, I moved them to another zip code. And Phoebe says, don't worry, I will see them, find them and bring them back safely. And they laugh. They talk about, will they ever get control of the powers and stuff like that. And then Andy comes along and says, Prue, what are you doing here? And with the dagger, she was like, oh, I was bringing the dagger back to you. He was like, to a wedding. And she was like, no, I was here to see Piper. I was going to drop by the police station after. And he was like, yeah, okay, let's talk about this, shall we? And they walk off. And that is the end of the episode.
So
I personally think this episode should have been towards the beginning.
One of the earlier episodes.
Yeah, I think it should have been either episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's a few unanswered questions. It looks to me like they're setting up a bigger plot with the auctioneer and his little assistant.
Yeah.
Also, I've just clicked on. So Andy and Morris have gone back to the Spencer estate, obviously to investigate this dead reverend. And they're going to go back there, and the woman that the guy was going to marry is now gone, along with her.
So they could just put it down to the...
So they could just say she...
Bleed.
Yeah, she must have killed him and fled.
But the mum and... what's his name? The husband?
Grace and Elliot,
they are going to get interrogated to fuck, because there is no way that a husband would know that... There's no way a husband wouldn't know that his wife was a killer. So I could see...
You say that, but how many actual true serial killers have wives that were completely unaware of what they were up to?
Yeah.
Once again, as well, murder scene where all 3 sisters are present.
Well, no, really 2 of them was present at that time. So what did you think of this episode?
It was interesting. I like the thing about it's almost like they're trying to prevent the birth of the Antichrist kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite episode.
No, I find there's a lot of things that like doesn't make sense, the plot wise, and to me, story wise, this should have been like the 2nd or 3rd episode, not the 6th.
I feel like if they had more time, and
They could have expanded it more.
yeah, it could have been like a season finale or something.
No, it's not a big enough.
I think it is preventing the birth of the Antichrist.
Yeah, I feel that stakes could have been higher.
I think personally, I feel if they had a bit more time and it was made a bit more epic, it would make a good season finale.
Yeah, this one just felt like more like a filler episode.
Which is weird because the story you preventing the birth of the Antichrist is anything but filler.
They didn't really do much with it though, did they?
No. just think it was quite funny that usually it's like a demon man trying to impregnate a woman.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it was like, no, it's the woman that is the demon.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty cool that it was somebody who was already in a relationship looking to get married that this demon was after, because it makes sense why, a wedding will happen so soon after that. It also gives the sisters a reason to learn more about the strangeness of it as well, because if Alison didn't exist and it was just literally like a single male that they were going after, I can't see them learning about, the husband has gone missing and, I've been trying to get in contact with him but I can't, and the strange things happening and I'm in love with him and that kind of thing.
Well, I actually think that the mother pushed the wedding so that this didn't happen, but Jade's obviously kept an eye out on the family.
Yeah, and then swooped in just as it's...
Yeah.
So, what interests me as well, actually, is the deal. So, obviously, there's been a deal at some point where the mum has kind of...
She's got
for money
and power in sacrificing her son.
Yeah, in exchange for... Well, is it in exchange for a son? Or is it just so that this demon has something to have a child with?
No, it was a son. They said at the beginning it was for Elliot to marry and reproduce with the son.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What would she do after that? Would she just give him back?
And I think she'd have killed him. But Kristen did say, when there was at the top of the balcony to Grace, she did say once Jade's pregnant, this is all over.
Yeah.
So maybe they would let him go and let Elliot live his life.
Maybe.
I don't think we'll ever know.
My favourite so far is still the Dream Sorcerer, but that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Or by any means.
Okay, so the next episode that we're doing next week is season 1, episode 7, The Fourth Sister.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
I actually like the episode. I don't know what you'll think of it, but I like it.
I don't know, but obviously it's only been 3 of them so far, so the 4th one, unless it's the cat, could be quite interesting.
I don't think it's got anything to do with what you're thinking, but sure. But yeah, sorry about how flat my voice has been, and I don't think I've had my usual vibe today, have I? Because I'm just...
Because you're sick.
Pausing.
Just a sick man. A sick woman.
Germ bag.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we hope to see you next time for The Fourth Sister. If you enjoyed this, please go and listen to Bad Karma. Latest episode that was out last week was Mandela Effect. At the same time as this one will probably be the unsolved murder of Helen Fleet. There is another poll on Facebook, so have a look on our Facebook page, Bad Karma Network.
A new listener's choice.
Yeah, a listener's choice. Because Mandela Effect was the listener's choice, we've decided to do it monthly. So the poll doesn't end until...
Still got a couple of weeks. We've still got a couple of weeks left for the poll. Don't know what's winning at the moment.
I think the last time I looked, it was paranormal.
Ooh. Yeah, so paranormal's winning at the moment, but there are another couple of good options on there. So if you want to go and take a look at that, make sure to vote. We will be making a episode on whatever wins.
But Mark's not allowed to vote this time because he made the Mandela Effect to win because he voted last time because he's naughty.
You loved it.
Anyway, if you like Squid Games, we do have a Squid Game podcast called
Karma is a Killer Game.
We are a week behind on that one because we've had technical issues, so bear with us.
Yeah.
If you want to email us or get involved with anything, please email us at badkarma with a C podcast@hotmail.com. Take care, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.